back at part 2 of the PCS round 9 with 15 laps to go because it said that the internet was showing as being a bit weak, but I think PSN's been a bit dicky today. Now, while we've been away, James, I have just seen a car that looked very similar to what looks like either Dave the Harp's car, Neotig's car, or Woolhouse's car sideways in the barrier. So I don't know if one of those has had a bit of a moment somewhere.
No, it's not Neotig, because he's just made a cracking overtake on driving Montana around turn 3, and he's looking like he's really, really strong at the moment, so I'm thinking he's possibly gone for a set of hard tyres. Leaders
are in the pits, both Livebry and GBM Beardy, and GBM Beardy's done the right thing there. Livebry went for the pits, so he's gone and followed him. GT Gavin 2 is also following them. Adam 4600, well. Yep, he is. Now the car behind Adam is out of position, so that must be the car that's had a bit of a moment somewhere. Neotig is in 5th place, just ahead of driver Montana. Dave the Harp's in 7th, Chris Core is in 8th, Jason 9th, Hesselden is in 10th place, Jonesy's in 11th.
Beardy's pit crew's telling him to go. Is he going to be able to jump in front of Livebry? Livebry's just getting going now. Oh, that was very close. Beardy's a few millitenths quicker, and he could have jumped there, Livebry, but the gap's still the same as when they came in.
Yep, so Livebry still leading from Beardy. GT Gavin 2 is also now on the move. Adam 4600 and Neotig is also leaving the pits, I think. Driver Montana, no, Neotig is entering the pits. Driver Montana also entering the pits, and Dave the Harp, so definitely into pit stop window, because Chris Core is also into the pits. Jonesy, though, he's continued on because he's already made a pit stop. And looking at Lielmo McElroy's car, when we saw it a moment ago, that's a car that looks like it needs a pit stop because it looks like it's got quite a bit of damage on it. With those pit stops being done, it has now put Hesselden up to 6th place. But for Livebry, this is absolutely going he ever could have wished for, because if they stay in the positions they are in, Livebry scores 25 points, that'll put him on 155, and Hesselden would score 10 points, which would put him on 150. So Livebry would be 5 points ahead going into the final race of the season. But I've got a feeling Hesselden is going to gain a few places before this race is over.
And who would have said that at the first halfway in? At the end of the 5th round, who would have said Hesselden would have been this close to losing the championship?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he had quite a gap. Even up to last week, I think finishing 3rd last week did hurt, but even the result from the race before that didn't quite go to plan. But he has been affected by disconnections in the PCS as well.
He's getting a move on now. I think he's found his groove and he's jumping all over the back of Jason. I think Jason's going to be easy meat on the start finish straight. Oh, the inside into the last corner. He seems to be losing out a ton in that final corner as Hesselden. It's very strange. This is 1st, 2nd and 3rd gear and not tuned properly.
Possibly. Or he just had a massive oversteer moment which he's had to correct, but it definitely is halting his progress at the moment.
Oh. And battle rejoined, we've got Lee Elmo and Davey Arp, hammer and tongs into the final chicane, heading onto the start-finish straight. I could see this being a Senna-Prost move down into turn 1, both in the kit litter, but we'll find out.
I tell you what, Lielmo McElroy's got very, very good straight line speed. He's pulling away from Dave the Harp. Slipstream does not seem to be of big benefit here, either that or it is, but the driver's gear ratios aren't allowing them to really catch up and overtake. Oh, Dave's gone! Dave's gone!
He's lost it. He's lost it. Oh, just managed to hold on to it, but how much time he lost there? At least 5 seconds.
And he may even be in position.
Yeah. Chris is going to be all over him now.
I mean, people think that these cars are very, very easy to drive. Oh, Chris Cord chucks it straight up the inside and goes off on the outside. and Dave keeps that position. Yeah, I mean, these cars, they're not the most difficult of cars to drive, but you can very, very easily lose them.
Yeah, they've got a rear end of a donkey, to be fair, these Ginettas.
I can't say I've ever tried holding on to the rear end of a donkey, but I'm guessing you have if you know. Heselden, Heselden's gone for a move, but it's ended in contact. And Jason, I think he was trying to go for the pit lane, but Heselden was trying to size him up for an overtake, and he kind of nearly pit manoeuvred Jason there. But Heselden is now up to 5th place.
I had a very similar moment in the first round of the PCS. I was wanting to overtake somebody, and they wanted to get in the pit lane, and unfortunately we were in wrong sides of the pit lane entry. I had to completely back out of it just to let him in.
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, if you know that someone wants the pit lane, sometimes you can be a bit sneaky and position your car where they have to lose time to get into the pits. It's a very handy tactic, although perhaps not a favoured one. But I tell you what, Live Bright and GBM Beardy getting very, very close up at the front again.
Well, I think Beardy's going to have to be a bit sneaky and do him in a corner, because Beardy looks like as if his car is completely set up for the tight, twisty section. Maybe this section here in the final sector may be the best opportunity to get Live Bright out of position, because Live Bright's got some quality straight line speed.
I mean, as we can see, looking from GBM Beardy's car, down the start finish straight, Live Bright is just pulling away with that straight line speed.
Beardy seems to be able to just position his car slightly better. Probably does help having a car slightly in front of you. That's, you're able to spot where they're slightly making mistakes, and you can just manipulate the car slightly better than the car in front. But on the straights, Beardy ain't got an answer.
No, I tell you what could get quite interesting as well. By the sounds of it, these guys are catching up some cars. If they catch traffic, absolutely everything in the running order of this race at the moment.
Oh, Beardy's got so much more grip in the slow corners.
I thought he was going for it up the inside there. Yeah, he's got Live Bright out of position.
Yeah. You need to get him thinking about using his mirrors rather than looking straight forward, and then he'll have him.
I think Beardy's realised he hasn't got the straight line speed. He's got to do him somewhere else on the track, and the only way he can do that is to force Live Bright to put his car in a position. He doesn't really want to be putting it. That doesn't mean ram him off. It's just a fake a move, make him give you room, and then you can capitalise. Maybe
doing some dress rehearsals, keeping him locked in the back of his mind, thinking, right, I was strong in that corner on the last lap, I'll try a cheeky move this lap.
I mean, another option for Beardy would be an undercut at the pit stops. Now, with him following Live Bright, I mean, it's possible that Beardy was thinking about doing an undercut earlier on, and it just so happened that Live Bright pitted on the same lap. But if that's the case, then there's not a lot you can do as the following driver. But what you don't want to do is, if you see the car ahead go in the pits, is to continue on for another lap.
Yeah, these two for P1 and 2 are the closest cars on the circuit at the moment. And once again, Live Bright's going to touch wide. Is this the opportunity? I think at this corner here, Beardy's looking the strongest. I think if we're going to see an overtake, it may be in this corner.
Well, if he can have a good run around turn 4, then he can have a look at chucking it up the inside into turn 5. I mean, what position is Heselden in at the moment? Is he still running 5th place, or is he catching up to 4th?
5th, but I think if he pits, it'll come out behind Neotig, because Neotig's looking super strong.
Well, Neotig won the race on Friday. A fantastic performance by him. Definitely one of his best of the season. Not quite been able to transfer it over to the Sunday races yet, though.
Yeah. It does seem as though Beardy's braking is completely different to Livebright. Livebright tends to want to... Oh, Beardy's just a slight mistake in the final sector there. Livebright seems to want to brake and turn at the same time, whereas Beardy tends to want to brake completely in a straight line, lift off the brakes and then get the car turning. Now, I think that's the difference in the corners, but look at the difference in the straight line speed. Livebright's just bolted away from Beardy.
He definitely has. GT Gavin too, he's quite a way behind, got about the whole length of the start-finish straight between second and third. Adam 4600's not too far behind.
Talking of not too far behind, we've got Chris Coy, he's having a little look round the outside of Lee Elmo, and it's bringing Jason along with him. This is very close.
Well, 4-car battle we got going on here.
Jason's going for a move on the outside. I think Lee Elmo's braking way too late there. He's going to be off the circuit, I think. Jason, just enough room. Is this going to be a fantastic move for Jason? Oh, what is Livebright? You got a car up your inside, mate. Oh, no, and here we go. We've got Chris Cope up your inside as well.
And now we've got another one up your inside. To you, to me, to you, to me. It's about to become a 5-car battle as well. I think that might be Dave the Harp that's catching on to the back of this train here. But I like that from Jason.
Took a lot of sausage there.
Oh, he's going to the pit lane. Yeah, I like that from Jason. Very aggressive. Well, I won't say very aggressive, but didn't hold back, shall we say?
There was no nonsense there.
Yeah. And I tell you what, he's got good straight line speed, and he may be able to have a look at Chris Core into turn 1. No, not quite able to get up alongside. But we see that a lot in the GT style cars, that down the start finish straight here, you do not get much overtaking.
No.
It's not like F1.
Once again, Beardy has had a super strong sector 3, but in the straight line he's not got an answer. So if you watch the cars further down battling, I'll keep checking in on P1 and 2.
I am, because Chris Court is trying to have a look, but Jason's having a look at him. That's made Chris Court go deep. I tell you what, that was a moment of Chris Court thinking, I've got to brake deep, so brake late, so he doesn't overtake me. Oh crap, there's a car ahead of me. But now he's up the inside.
Jason's just thinking, you keep battling and I'll pick off whoever's left.
I'm fairly sure he's thinking, you keep battling, if I see a gap I'm going to put my car in it. Yes, I said car, not anything else.
There we go. He's in it. There we go. Is he going to get 2 more?
He's going for it.
Let's have a look.
Oh, Chris Cole!
Give a nudge.
That could help. It could help Jason. But Montana's got a good run. Oh, not anymore, he hasn't. Jason's managed to get ahead, and I tell you what, the clouds are coming over a little bit. Looks like temperatures could be changing. I really don't think we'll be seeing any rain. Oh, Chris Core going a little bit deep there, giving Elmo a nudge, or driver Montana a nudge, sorry, and they give Jason a nudge, but Jason and Chris Core into the pits, and Dave the Harp, I think it is, now trying to make a move on driver Montana. Hey, we've got an overtake happening down the start-finish straight. It's only taken, what, 12 laps?
Occasion.
Yeah.
Okay. Mouse section, it just doesn't do any favours for overtakes down start finish.
Livebright and GBM Beardy into the pits. So leaders are into the pits. They must have gone off from either medium to medium or soft to medium tyres. But GBM Beardy is right up his gearbox.
Overtake here. He's gonna,
I don't know.
But he's had to stop though.
Yeah.
He had to stop.
That could cost him.
That may have just gifted Livebright a bit of a opportunity. If he'd have been another car length behind, I think he'd met Livebright there.
Yeah, I mean, I was sat there thinking he's close enough that he may be able to have a faster pit stop, but yeah, he was so close that his car slowed down while Livebright moves into his box, but Beardy's on his way.
We've got Adam pulling in as well.
Beardy's
having to slow down.
Beardy's got a huge gap over Livebright now.
Could Beardy have been running on the hard tyres and just popped in for a bit of fuel?
Possibly, it's possible. Either way, You what? You know what's going to happen? He's going to end up popping back into the pits or something drastic like that because it's not changed his tyres or it's not giving him any fuel. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. Okay, Neo Tig, he's got himself up to 4th place as Adam 4600 in 5th is making his way out of the pits. Hesselden, he's coming out of the pits in 6th place. David Harp in 7th is going in the pits. Driver Montana in 8th is going in the pits. Jonesy in 9th has got a few corners to go before he gets there. Chris Core and Jason have come out in 10th and 11th with Lielmo McElroy in 12th and Woolhouse. Woolhouse's race is over, I'm afraid. But that's a huge disappointment for Livebry.
I'm checking out the current lap times in Sector 1. Beardy Sector 2 was a 40.3. What is Livebry's going to be? 39.7. Could we have seen the tyres not been changed? Because that's a clear half a second Livebry's got in the bag in Sector 2. Possibly,
because GBM Beardy has just had a very, very deep moment at the hairpin. I wouldn't be surprised if they've not changed his tyres, you know. And if they haven't, he will be absolutely fuming. But he's continuing on, so maybe they did and he just had a bad outlap. But what's the gap between them? Let's find out. We'll count from the bridge.
I think it's about 5 seconds.
It is about 4.5 to 5 seconds. So, I mean, that's a lot of time to make up in the pit stop. I mean, it could have been a shorter stint on fuel. Neo Tig into the pits.
We've got Davey Arp and his best friend Lee Elmore. Or not, is it? Yeah,
it is, yep.
Davey Arp's trying to, just giving him a bit of a nudge there. She's getting intense between these two. Seems to be like magnets. It's very strange. You can always, it's very odd. You can have a few altercations with a couple of drivers, and then before you know it, every single race you're ending up on the same piece of tarmac, every single race with the same driver.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? I mean, sometimes, well, for example, in our F1, I mean, over the course of the history in F1, always Lielmo went very, very deep there. Myself and Kev187 have been on very similar pace, so we've tended to be battling each other, and that's kind of what happens. You end up battling with the people on similar pace with you. But I mean, what's surprising here is that for Dave the Harp in the early stages of the season, he was a front runner, but for the last few races, he's been battling down in the lower half. So he is battling with the same people race after race because they are down in the lower half. Dave being very, very defensive to try and break slipstream there, but I think he's going to be safe.
A bit of bad news for all them Beardy fans out there. I think they haven't changed his tyres because Livebry is catching him hand over fist. He's had a bit of a nightmare out the final corner there, Beardy. I think Livebry may have a decent slipstream. We've seen how strong he's been in a straight line in the first half of the race. Look how much he's closing in on Beardy now.
He's just put in his own fastest lap of the race as well, a 1:45.555. Oh, Beardy definitely looks like he's struggling. I mean, Beardy's fastest lap's a 1:46.
Get up and under, here we go.
A beautiful move there then by Livebry to retake the lead.
Beardy's still holding on to it round the outside, but I don't think he's going to have an answer for him now. Oh, this is brilliant. Just enough space given from Livebry, that's brilliant.
He's going to have the inside on this next corner.
Livebry's going to try it around the outside. Some fantastic action here from these two front runners, showing how it should be done.
You know you've cursed it now, though. In about 30 seconds' time, you're going to be saying, "Oh no, Livebry's hit him into the pit wall."
Yeah, I've got faith in these two.
I tell you what, if you were Beardy though, right? Let's say they haven't changed his tyres. Livebry gets past. Do you go, right? Okay, I'm not going to get a mine. I'll get to the end because I was going to say he looks like he's struggling now in the corners, and he wasn't struggling in the corners before.
Yeah, he seems to be super strong in the corners. He seems to be now trying to make all the corners a 90-degree right-hander. Just trying to square up the car, getting it on power as soon as he can because he hasn't got the grip anymore in the corners.
I mean, what may actually be happening here is that perhaps Beardy's gone for a harder compound tyre and Livebry's gone for a soft compound tyre.
Yeah. In that case, we're going to see some defensive moves down to turn 1, because I think Livebry may have a cheeky, sneaky move up. No, he's thinking better. He's thinking, I'll try and do the up and under again.
Now we had a go starting from here on the previous lap, not quite in position to give it another blast on this occasion, but again they're catching up traffic, and I've got a feeling it might be that battle of cars that was sort of 11th, 10th, 9th and 8th. I mean, this is a situation where for Livebry, obviously he'll want to win the race, but if he knows exactly where Hesselden is, that could have an effect on how much he really attacks to get the victory here. Because any points gained... Yeah, I mean, if Hesselden's 5th, he's only going to be scoring 11 points compared to Livebry's 20 for second place, so they're going to be nearly on level points. If Livebry can win it, he'll go into the final race leading.
Beardy's going to have to get a move before they reach Montana.
Well, Montana's going to be getting blue flags waved at him, and probably a few beepings of horns as well. But this is a good... I'll tell you, Livebry's close enough on this occasion, I reckon, to have a good run.
This is it. I think it's going to happen now. But the added complication is, what is Montana going to do? Is he going to back out of it? I think he's going to have to now. They're getting so close up behind him. Staying on the racing line, making the front runners running off.
Livebry's chucked it up the inside!
He didn't mean to. I think it sort of caught him off guard.
He's knocked him off!
That's completely forced Beardy off circuit, and that's exactly what you said, commentator's curse there.
Yep.
But Livebry's doing the honourable thing, he's holding up for him, he knows that wasn't what he was planning on doing.
Yep, he knows it wasn't a legitimate move, so yeah, I mean, this is the kind of thing... I thought he was going to ram him again then. That's the kind of thing that earns drivers a lot of respect. Livebry could very easily have just driven off into the distance and won this race. He's put himself into second place because he knows it wasn't a legitimate overtake.
He's put himself in the first place in terms of utter respect between drivers.
Yep.
That was good to see there.
Yes, definitely was. But I told you they'd have a coming together. I mean, I tell you what, whichever the car was that was going down the start-finish straight, you know what? I don't think they really did much wrong there. They've gone straight, they've stayed on the racing line, they've not made any moves. They said, OK, you want to come past, that's fine.
Up the inside.
He's got it done legitimately this time.
Yeah.
A nice move there. But yeah, I mean, the car, it's like, OK, if you want to go ahead, that's fine, but you're going to have to go off the racing line to do it. I haven't got a problem with it, a little bit wrong. But on that occasion, he got it very, very right.
Yeah, I think Livebry was just completely not anticipating the corner. I think he was more focused on the back marker than he was on the actual corner coming up, and found himself making a move he didn't really want to make. But Beardy's, where's this pace come from? He's been overtaken, and all of a sudden the engine's peaked up a bit, and he's right up in Livebry's slipstream. But when he's pulling out, he's dropping back a fair touch. But here we go, trying it on the outside. This is very strange. I think he's going to find himself running off circuit almost. It's good to see a bit of fight left in Beardy, but I think them tyres have cried enough.
I think you could be right there. Now they have got another car that they are catching up, which I think could be driver Montana or Leomo McElroy.
It's Montana.
Now we'll see how they go about getting out of the way. I mean, being in a blue flag situation, it's never ever easy. It can be very off-putting as he goes slightly sideways and is now kind of letting Livebry through. I mean, at some circuits it's very easy to let the cars past, at others it can be very, very tricky. But the best thing to do is just go, okay, they're there, I'll let them past, and then follow them in the hope that when they catch up the cars ahead, that car gets out of the way and you could overtake them for position. Okay, let's see if we've got any battles occurring elsewhere in the order. Third and fourth, a little spread out. Hesselden in fifth. Quite a gap between himself and Neo Tig in sixth. And a big gap between sixth and seventh. Driver Montana, it's in eighth. And Chris Core, so we've got the first and second that are close. Eighth and ninth that are kind of close. So this is where for Chris Core, he will want to hope that Driver Montana was held up quite a little bit, excuse me, so that he could catch up. Jones is not that far behind them, and then Jason is in 11th place with Leoma McElroy now in 12th. But a few cars definitely out of position. With Driver Montana and Chris Core getting very, very close now. I think Chris Core may have a move available to him in the next few moments. He's looking much quicker. Perhaps Driver Montana's tyres just wearing a little more than he would like. But having said that, I tell you what, James, it's gone rather quick. We're on the last lap of the race. So where are the leaders?
It's bolted and the leaders are just heading through the middle sector. Livebry, I think, unless he makes an utter cock-up on a curb, I think he's got this one in the bag, because Beardy's just slightly, every sector losing a couple of tenths, but he's not giving up, and it's good to see from Beardy.
I think Driver Montana and Chris Core have just had a little bit of a coming together. Chris Core may now be under pressure from a car behind, but I think that's GT Gavin too. Excuse me, but we'll keep an eye on Livebry, and I tell you what, James, I'll let you take them through the final part of the last lap of the race.
So here we go, Livebry heading into the Mickey Mouse section, and these tight sausages you do not want to jump over. And Beardy's taking a lot of sausage, but it looks like Livebry, he is going to come away with the victor. And Beardy, he has done an absolutely fantastic race. Close, but no cigar. What a fantastic win though for Livebry. Put of respect between the two, and some classic wheel-to-wheel battling.
There was some very, very good racing there. GT Gavin in third place. I think Adam 4600 is going to cross the line in fourth place. He is. That's one of his best results of the season. And let's see.
Hesselden has picked up fifth.
It would have been, yeah, Hesselden that's taken fifth place. Disappointing result for him, really, in the grand scheme of things. I mean, with Livebry taking the victory, that means that Livebry is going to be leading the standings into the final race of the season. The points gap will be Hesselden will be on 151 points and Livebry will be on 155 points going into the final race of the season. And the final race of the season will be at Le Circuit Bugatti for 23 laps. If you don't know which track that is, it's basically the short Le Mans circuit. A very tricky course, that one as well. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top from that one.
Yeah, 4 points the difference between the two. It's very, very close, and Hesselden can still win it as long as he stays in front of Livebry.
Well, yeah, I mean, it will basically come down to whoever finishes ahead of the other will win, unless they're in the lower positions where there's only sort of like 1 point different per position.
Yep.
So, well, a fantastic race there anyway, I think. Very, very interesting one. Now, while the drivers make their way...
to find out what happened with Beardy's pit stop, if he did decide just to go for fuel, or
whether perhaps Livebry had a longer stop.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the viewers, you'll have to bear with us a moment. Going to go to a blue. I think that'll be the first question I asked him. Okay, we've got GT Gavin 2 and GBM Beard have joined us. If you could both just make sure that you've got your microphone set to always allow in the chat party for us. And Livebry has now joined us as well. So Livebry, if you can also please make sure that you have got your microphone set to always allow in the chat party for us. And I'll probably hand over to James for most of the questions, but Livebry, I've got to ask you, were you full of crap last week? Were you telling fibs? Do you actually like the Spanish circuit, or have you just got a bit lucky?
To be fair, I've been running with Beardy all week, and Beardy showed me a few lines and stuff where I was going wrong, sort of thing, so fair play to Beardy for that.
Oh, interesting, very interesting.
A bit of salt into the wound there. I've got to say, the straight line speed, Libra, I think that were what won you that race, because the speed that Beardy had in the corners were, I think his car was just set up for the corners and yours seemed to be set up for the straight, and every time he got up behind you in sector 3 you just pulled out them extra few car lengths, so that you had to do that work all over again on the next lap. Was that how it felt from your end?
We were both running mediums, you see, so we were in the medium tyres. We had to do sort of a conservative drive and save the tyres, sort of thing. So the lap times were there to go quicker, but we had to sort of discipline ourselves to do them sort of lap time, so the tyres last 7 laps.
Nice one. Were there any point in that race where you have any scares? Because from our point of view, I know that we saw the odd moment down at turn 1 where we were a bit like...
He shunted him!
I said, oh no, these two are really, really clean, there's not going to be any moment together. Dave said to me, you've given them the commentator's curse. 1 lap later, there's a bit of contact.
I think it was driving Montana, to be honest with you, and I was a bit late on the brakes and it just all closed up on me and running to the back of Beardy. I did slow down and let him backwards.
Yeah, there were lots and lots of respect shown there. Lots of drivers wouldn't have done that, and I think that's why I think driver of the day, just because of showing that you had utter respect between you and Beardy.
Yeah, I've raced for a long time, me and Beardy, so it's always going to be there. You're always going to get that good close race in between.
Okay, let's move on to Beardy then. Beardy, I know James wants to ask the question. What happened at the pit stop? How come you got such a jump on him?
Well, Bry had a battery fault coming into the pits, and that's what got me the jump on him. But I just couldn't switch on those medium tyres in those last time, and I was struggling to get any.
Because we were saying in commentary, I'm wondering if it had pitted and not actually changed your tyres, because when you came out, I think on your out lap, I think it was half a second slower than Livebry, just on the out lap alone, and that were just in sector 2. So yeah, it did look like
saving mode though, you know what I mean, and that's the case when, like I said, we had the lap time though. When I came out, I pushed it a little bit, which is why you saw at the end where you were a bit quicker than me when I had no tyre left.
Right. So Beardy, were you getting annoyed that your car didn't seem to have the grunt in a straight line? Because in the corners your car looked absolutely sweet in the first half of the race.
I had, well, at the start it was perfect. I mean, I couldn't grumble or anything like that. I mean, the start was perfect. I mean, fair enough, Hesselden got a good jump on us both. But with Bry, it got past, and I just saw the gap, and then I thought, right, I think the wind's on. But could I get anything out of that last corner?
Yeah, it did seem
perfect.
Yeah. It did look absolutely special in them corners, and not special in a weird way. It did look really, really nice to drive, especially to turn 3 and 4. It seemed like you were just carrying at least 5 mile an hour more than live Bry, but then on the straight it seemed to be the opposite way around. Live Bry just had that extra few mile an hour and were able to pull out that extra few car lengths. But I've got to say, absolutely fantastic to show that he never gave up during that race, even when we just got in front of you in the last few laps. You're still absolutely caning it, not giving up, knowing that if he makes one slight mistake you were in for the win. So it was fantastic to see, and utter respect between you both.
Here's a question for you though, for the conspiracy theorists out there. You two seemed like you've helped each other out in a bit of practice around Spain. Was there any point of let me win it, I need the points to beat Hesselden?
We're racers. We go out there to put on a show, basically. You're basically there to race. There's no team tactics or anything like that. You go flat out until the end, and whoever wins the race deserves it.
That's exactly what we want to hear. Okay, let's move on then to GT Gavin 2, who really, I think for the most part, had quite a quiet race. So tell us how your race was, Gavin.
Nice and steady, to be fair. Got in front of Hesselden on first lap, battled with him for 2 or 3. Then saw him bin it on the last corner of, was it lap 5 or lap 6?
It was around there, yeah.
Yeah, we were flicking through the drives and we're like, oh, hang on, Hesselden's had a fair moment because he was so far back and we didn't actually see him lose it. But yeah, no, that first lap, what were you thinking going out of turn 1, where Hesselden, I think, was trying it on the outside with everybody, and then by the end of the lap, he completely lost out.
To be honest, I never really set off aiming to get any higher up. I was just happy trundling round. I haven't been overly fast at this track. Well, not up to the standard of Brian and Beatty anyway. So I just thought, you know, whatever I can get, I will get. And obviously I saw an opportunity to get past him. It'd be rude not to go for it, especially if it's clean. And it wasn't, that's that really. I just had a bit of a battle with Adam towards the end, just trying to maintain the gap.
Oh, nice one. It's good to know that even though you didn't have the full-on pace for the win, you knew that you had the consistency, and that's what got you on the podium.
Yeah, obviously tyre choice. It amazes me how Brian Beatty got that many laps out of the medium tyre. That baffles me.
So how many laps were you getting out of the mediums then?
I wasn't on the mediums.
No, I meant in practice, like how much were you getting out of them?
About 4, 5 tops. And they've just gone out and put 7 on.
Gav's problem is he's got a lead foot, you see, so really quickly.
Quite possibly. A fantastic race anyway, Gavin, and your points haul from today, 16 points for being third place, puts you on 100 points. So well done, triple digits club. Although there might be a couple of drivers still slightly ahead of you. Okay, on to last sort of questions for Live Brian. Brian, you're going to go into the final race of the season with a 5-point gap, is it? 4-point gap over Hesselden. And the track is...
Sit in front of him next week.
Yeah. Have you done much running around the circuit of Bugatti?
I've raced in it before in a different league, so yeah, I know what kind of track it is. So I know what I'm expecting.
So you're feeling confident?
Quite, yeah.
Well, you see, what you should have done is done what you did last week, said I don't like that track, and you'll go and win the race. So anyway, right.
Catalan, you seem to change the last sector. The last sector is compared to what it used to be.
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely awful. The chicanes are a complete waste of time. I mean, I always say, they say that they've changed the corners for safety reasons to aid overtaking. It doesn't aid overtaking, and just look at the last 2 corners you've got at the Red Bull Ring. So change it back. I would love to see them change those corners back. But anyway, right, okay, it's time for us to bring our footage to an end for this evening. Next up on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel will be on Wednesday 7:30 PM for the Front Row Racing F1 World Championship for round 10 at Hungary. could be a very interesting race, that one. Next up for the PCS League will be the final race of the season at the Circuit Bugatti for, I think it's 23 laps. That'll be next Sunday at 8:30 PM for the title decider. So thank you very much to all of the drivers. Well done to the podium sitters. Thank you very much to the viewers for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, or follow us on Facebook. You'll find us on there, Front Row Racing, and we'll have all the standings updated on there as soon as possible. Thank you very much as well to James Hulkenberg for joining us in the commentary box, and have a fantastic time in Australia.
I hope it's good, and I hope that the final race goes right down to the wire on the last lap, and live by all the luck in the world, along with Hesselden if he's listening. I hope it's a cracking battle for the title.
So do I. Okay, thank you very much everyone. We've been from Row Racing. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all again soon.